All right, folks, welcome to 7th Season Studios. This week's tutorial is about how to use our free robot asset pack available at Affinity Graphics down below. So you can download the robot asset pack completely free from 7th Season Studios and Affinity Graphics. And then we're going to show you how to kind of use this to create some really cool concept 2D robots in a very short amount of time. So let's go ahead, roll those credits, and get on into the tutorial. All right, folks, so let's go ahead and let's make a 2D robot, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to File, New. And now we're going to work in print. I'm going to make this a letter size. It really doesn't matter how big it is. Now, to get to your asset pack, you all know how to load it. Go to View, Studio, find your assets. And in the downloads for this lesson, we've included the 7th Season Robot Workshop asset pack. So we've got them all nicely illustrated in here with bodies, heads, mouths, and nose and eyes. So let's go ahead and build one, right? This is going to be super fun. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab a body first. And let's go ahead and let's pick a body. Now you got different colors, you got different shapes. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create something. I'm going to create something maybe red. Let's go ahead and create a red robot. Now I'm going to hold Shift and I'm going to move it in here. Awesome. Now I want to grab a head. Now I like my robots to match. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to use the same red that we used for the body. And I'm going to create a head. Now, if you make that too big, don't worry about it. You can certainly scale it to where you want it. And if you misplace them, click and drag, bring it down. All right, looks good. Now let's go ahead and take a look at mouths, noses, anything like that, right? I like to use a contrasting style of color. So if I'm using red, I think I want these to be orange. I'm going to grab a mouth out of here, make it look a little bit like that. And now let's say I don't like that mouth. You can just delete it. And I can bring in that mouth right there. All right, that's kind of cool. We could do one more here. This is the great thing about assets. You can do all sorts of really cool stuff. All right, sounds good. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at eyes. Whole different types of eyes. I want my eyes to match, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use these kind of sprocket eyes. And I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste. And now, if I want it to look in the same direction, I can, or I can always flip the eyes. You can do whatever you want to do with it. It's your robot, right? So we're going to go ahead there. I'm actually going to grab one more thing here. I'm going to grab one of these, and I'm going to actually duplicate that. So I'm going to grab two, and I'm going to flip it, and those are going to be my robot's ears. That's actually pretty cool. All right, let's grab some arms and legs and some hands and feet. So I want my appendages to match. So I think I'm going to bring in a couple legs here. And I'm going to edit, duplicate, because I did make an adjustment to that. All right. Looks good. Looks solid. Now, what we're going to do here, I'm going to grab these legs. You'll notice here I'm in the legs layer. And I'm going to drag them down below the body. All right. That'll work out for me. And I'm going to position them right about here. All right. Cool. Now, what kind of arms do I want? I want some thicker arms, so I'm going to grab those from my asset pack. And I'm going to put those down here, and then I'm going to make them a little bit larger. Now, I want some motion in the arms, so I'm going to edit, duplicate. And then when I do that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to flip it around here so that we get one going like this and one waving hello. All right. That's pretty cool. Make sure they line up right about where we want them. Okay, cool. Now, if you wanted one below and one above, you could absolutely do that, however you wanted to do it. Now, when it comes to hands, you can do a lot of different stuff with hands. I think that for my design here, I've got a lot of hard edges. I kind of want a few more circles in there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shrink the hands down. Make the hand look a little bit like that. Now, watch this. I grab the hand. I grab that. I may want to move it a little bit, just like that. And I'm moving them kind of in parallel there so that they don't look super weird. All right, good deal. And now let's drag another hand out. And we're going to bring that hand right there. All right, cool. Now, why is that not quite looking right? Well, because I adjusted it. All right, cool. Robot's looking good. Now, let's grab some accessories for it, right? Because what is a robot without accessorization? So I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to put on at least one antenna. And I'm going to put the antenna on here. And I'm going to do two. So I'm going to go ahead and edit, duplicate, flip. This is a great way also, folks, to get to know Affinity Designer because you're using all the basic functionality in there. All right, that looks pretty cool. I think that in reality, I'm pretty happy with that. So now let's go ahead and let's accessorize it a little bit with some decals. Grab some decals, and I'm just going to grab a power meter. Let's drag the power meter out. And now you'll notice that's gray, right? Decals are important because what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to adjust the blend mode. As you adjust the blend mode of the decal, you see multiply makes it dark but still makes it red. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use multiply to keep it dark. And then I'm going to bring it down into here for the power meter. That looks pretty good to me. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab this cog here. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to change that blend mode as well. So where did that go? Let's change that blend mode right to there. All right. That looks absolutely cool. I think we're in pretty good shape with that. So you see the power of the assets. You see how you can put them together to create very simple 2D robots. And now, if you ever wanted to change it for any reason, because the asset is layered, let me show you the power of this. Let's say that the eyes, I wanted to make a different color of orange, let's say. I could come into the eye, and because the eyes have all of the layers associated with it, I could just change the color of the eye. I could make it green. Now, I could try to match that color of green, but instead, I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to edit, duplicate, and then I'm going to move it over. And much like I did before, I'm just going to flip it so that I don't have both eyes looking in the same direction. All right, folks, that's a little bit on how to use the Robot Asset Pack. I hope you get a lot of value out of it. I had a lot of fun making it. And this is exactly how you can play and concept all the way through your robot. This is absolutely, if you wanted to take this 2D robot up a notch, I'm going to show you how to use some effects in order to make this thing really pop. Now, we made this in the last video. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to View, Studio. I'm going to turn on my effects window. And now you can do a lot of really cool stuff with this. As an example, with the body, let's say you wanted to take the base, body, and head shape. You could then go ahead and apply a 3D. And you can absolutely adjust these shapes. So it actually creates a very cool effect here. Now, you could also take the antenna, and with the antenna, you could put an outer glow on the antenna. So let's go ahead and crank that radius up. Now, it doesn't look like anything's happening, right? Well, because you got a white color. Let's go ahead and change the color of the glow. Look at that. We're going to go ahead and we're going to make this, let's do a bright green to match his eyes. All right, that's pretty cool. So we can absolutely turn up the glow on this thing. And then you can do some things with the feet here. You can make the feet. Let's go ahead and make the feet kind of stand out. What we're going to do is we're going to take the entire group. Let's go big or go home, right? And what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put an outer shadow on it. Kick up the radius. Kick up the offset. There we go. Now you see how it's standing out from the foreground? Now you can do some really cool stuff with the background. So there's a lot of things you can do with this 2D robot to absolutely add a level of 3 dimensions to it. So don't be afraid to play with the effects. Certainly the effects will have different effects, no pun intended, depending on where you're working. But I just want to show you that even if you're thinking about a 2D robot, there's no reason that it only has to be 2-dimensional. You can absolutely crank it up to do whatever it is that you want to do with your robot. All right, this is totally an optional add-on, so if you like it, use it. If not, stick with the 2D. All right, folks, we'll see you in the